This is the Redallover reaction show to last night's penalties Carabao Cup win against Fleetwood. So we're going to speak about last night's game. We're going to also speak about the breaking news that's happened in literally the last 20 minutes of Casper Lopata has been loaned out to Bristol Rovers for the rest of the season. And then we're going to look forward to Saturday's game as we welcome Bolton Wanderers to Oakwell. So let's get stuck into it. So, Andy, we'll go sort of chronologically between those three things that have happened quite recently. Last night's game started with a little, well, it was going all right until the 95th minute. Fairly decent run out, and then Fleetwood pegged us back to 2-2 and made it a little bit nervy on penalties. But I've been thinking about it, and I think we just want a little bit of practice for Penn still gone through. No to really worry about as such.
Yeah, you've thrown me a bit there, Josh. I thought you were going to ask me if we needed a striker or not.
No,
But
because we've already discussed this before. We do not need a target man. We have Reyes Cleary, who's the best player in the world. Late shout for Ballon
all
d'Or,
right,
I've
all
heard.
right, all right, all right, all right. Last night, yeah. Well, I think last night has given. I would think has given Conor Hourihane a bit of headache because there are about I think there were about five that started on Saturday started. So there are places for a number of players. Watson at right back. Barrett came in at centre half and Cleary started. Wow, Cleary started, as did Patrick Kelly. So, there are a few. And I thought we were excellent in the first half. The passing, the movement, our two wingers with Vickers on one side and Cleary on the other side, terrifying them. Terrifying. We went at them and we kept control of the ball, but we passed it forward and we purpose rather than let's pass it along the centre backs and waste a bit of time. It looked exciting football, and if I could be bothered at my age, it had got me off my feet a few times with some of the runs that we had down wings from either winger. So it was really good. The second half, I mean, we scored. We scored a decent goal. It was a good cross from Cleary, so he made it, and Big John Russell up at the far post against a much smaller player, banged it in, headed it in, have that. And then stroke half time, I don't know what we were doing. I'm actually going to put both the defender at the front, just let it go past him, and then goalkeeper it went, oh, I'll just stick an arm out. Oh, it's gone past me. I thought that were a weak goal on the stroke of half time to concede, if I'm honest. Second half were a bit more even. I thought we still played pretty well, but we made changes, and rightly so. Shepherd got a bit of a knock, so you don't want to risk him too much. And Watson came more into the back, and I don't think it's his personally think it's his strongest position, although he can play there. I thought he did well at right back, but not quite as commanding at centre back. Got to remember, you can say, oh, we're playing League Two opposition, but they've got Ched Evans, who I'll not say what else about, and our James Norwood, or our ex James Norwood playing up front, knocking on a bit, but there's a few players about knocking on a bit. Oh, we're going to give any defenders a bit of a tough time, putting themselves about and whatever. And I thought that we defended quite well until right at the death, and we brought the new lad on at left back. He just come on, and he got two on him because, and this is going to sound like a criticism. Reyes Cleary didn't follow his man, so he played, and his man was then put in that out, out wide so he could cross it. But I'm actually not gonna not clear for that because I'm amazed that he was still walking, let alone running at that stage, because that kid did so much running and
Mm.
so much attacking with the ball. It was unreal. So for once, I'm not going to criticise him. Might criticise linesman in front of us because he knew how to put his flag up, whether it were warranted or not, but he did. Referee did all right, but linesman. Oh dear, in front of where he stand. No, no, no. But yeah, penalties. I think Murphy Cooper redeemed himself. He made the first save, and then I felt really sorry at penalties because he could have won it. Really sorry at penalties for Patrick Kelly, who I thought had an incredible game for us. He got the ball, he was passing it well, he was tackling well, he was going forward with the ball at his feet, going between players. He looks a real fine. I think he's going to be challenging players in the centre of midfield. I think, if I were Jurgen Nathan, I think he might get picked in front of me. and he hit the bar, and keep a bit some great penalties from us. Um, but he hit the bar, and you're thinking, oh, flipping heck! After everything we've done, all the good play we've done, it's been pulled back to to all. Malarkey did well. He scored a goal, and then give us a goal by an own goal that were given to Cleary. It weren't an own goal. So he evened it out for us. But penalties, and Cooper, he did what he should do, and he gave himself a bit of a fillip after that weak first goal. So and congratulations to him. He come good, and let's hope it's the confidence booster that he needed, because he saved two. He got us through to the next round. And Rotherham, come on.
What a
There you
boring
know.
tie, though. Someone in the same league. Um, Dean,
What
it
matters?
is not.
Rotherham. It's Rotherham.
Yeah, but it's probably like the most friendliest rival we've got. Like, I don't think
Ah,
either of
well,
us
you
care
said
about
you
each
say
other.
you said that. You said that now, and I'll agree with you. You said that now. But when me and Dean were kids, I know it's, and we can remember, Rotherham were our arch rivals. Absolutely. If you supported Barnsley, you hated Rotherham, and vice versa. So it's Rotherham. You might think, oh, we're friends with them. We want them to do well. We hated them when we were
I
younger.
don't
So,
think I said that. I just said it's more of a friendly rivalry rather than a.
well, it might be now, but it weren't.
I don't
For
think it's.
years, it weren't.
Oh, it's all right now. I don't think we'll rouse each other. Dean, as Andy said there, it's nice to be because it does feel like the last few seasons when it has been this Carabao Cup game and we've thrown players in who have been a little bit on the periphery so far and sort of players you want to see, they've not really stepped up and it's almost like what have we got outside of this first 11? But as Andy said there, Patrick Kelly came in and did a decent job, raised Clary on his start as well. Man of the match for me. It is nice to see these players that weren't given the nod on Saturday actually come in and sort of make a difference and actually give Connor a headache. I've been like, who do I start on Saturday against Bolton?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Excuse me. Um, I think what it showed was what a lot of people haven't necessarily appreciated, that we have actually got some strength and depth, and maybe that's because people haven't seen that much of Yoga Nathan, they haven't seen that much of Bland or Barrett. But for those of us who have seen quite a lot of them, we're not surprised that they've come through, and I think it's real good credit, great credit to Nicky Eden, because for the first time for a long time we've had loads of players coming through our homegrown system academy, um, and I can't remember as many players coming through all at the same time, because basically there's Jallo as well. They rate Woodcock very highly, and so on. So yeah, I thought that was good. And what one thing that really pleased me about people like Kelly and Cleary is that we've gone for about 3 years or 4 years now. So there's lots and lots of options. If you're looking sort of, if we're playing 4-2-3-1, which we seem to be doing now, you've got Connell and Bland and Yoga Nathan and Kelly all fighting for those two places. On the flanks at the moment, we've got Cleary and Vickers, but I wouldn't underestimate Ferrugia either, who I think he could be a surprise package this season if we can keep him fit. And then, of course, we've got two very, very good young goalkeepers to boot as well, and say Jallo to come back. So there is strength in depth. Of course, it's easy to kind of say, well, they were all great. Were Fleetwood great? No, they weren't. What will happen on Saturday against a far more experienced and more talented team? We'll have to wait and see, especially at centre back, which I'm sure we'll come on to a little bit later on. But we seem to have so many options now. I mean, DKD can play in about 4 different positions. McGoldrick will slip back. And one of the really interesting things, which is becoming more apparent, is the interswitching of players into different roles. So at one point, Bland ended up trying to cross the ball on the right wing, and yet he's supposed to be the holding midfield player. Obviously, Better's been brought in to do a specific job, which is invert and come into the midfield. And I thought he looked a lot more comfortable with what his role was, and began to develop some kind of a relationship with Cleary, which was quite exciting as well. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you. There's more strength in depth, and that was one of the most encouraging things about last night.
It's especially given that when we look at it, Craig, in terms of it's a big fixture list this season, you've got 46 league games, you've got at least minimum first round Carabao, first round FA Cup, you've got the three EFL, not EFL Trophy, EFL Trophy nowadays, I forget what it's called. I'll go back to Papa John's because that's when we're in its real prime. It is nice to have that depth, but at the same time, you look at the goals conceded yesterday, and as great as it is going forward, and I think a lot of fans have almost accepted it a little bit at this point of the season of we're going to have to outscore teams rather than win a game 1-0. It does still raise a few questions as to how easy and how sort of soft the goals are, which we are conceding. Even if you just look over the first sort of three games that we've played, a lot of them do feel a little bit avoidable.
Yeah, which raises a question: we're in need of a centre back, and we've just loaned one out, who I thought were decent when he played beginning of last season. It just seems to be part of another part of this loan army where we've just got in a lot of young players, and we just seem to be loaning them out relentlessly. Dallas will be next one out at do it. He'll be out on loan again. We just sold Lofthouse, who were another part at loan army. And I don't really see the point in fetching these if you're not planning on using them. Centre back is a real issue for me at the minute. We're one injury away from being completely screwed when it comes to having a good defensive line. Watson obviously is a right back, played at the centre back, and he was tracking the man that scored the equaliser for them. Also, you look at Shepherd as well. He's got sent off first game, and then he's running forward and misjudging a touch that he did, and a referee allowing somebody to fly in like they did. I thought that were a yellow card. His studs were up when he connected with Shepherd. When I looked at the replay, so for me, I think ref did a bad job there. But there were some negatives and some positives to yesterday's game. I'll get rid of the negatives first. I think Barrett needs to be better aerially. Twice in his key headers, and it allowed them to get through and goal because he couldn't outjump their striker. You know, One, he jumped up, the guy headed it, and Patrick Kelly had to try and go around him, but they ended up hitting side netting, I think. So he needs to improve there, and also Cleary, like Andy said, he wasn't tracking back, and that cost us that second goal for them. If it had helped, especially with Woodcock coming on and him being so young, he really needed that help. And I think he did start running back, and then he just stopped. It's like his brain just went, I can't be bothered.
I think he'd not got any energy left. We
Yeah.
were looking at substituting him before. He were walking off the pitch, and then he were told, "No, get back on, and we substituted somebody else." I think he was just wiped out. And it's
Well, if he were that knackered,
first
then he should
game.
have come off at pitch, shouldn't he? He
He
should have
should have.
told them that he's tired
He
and
should
that
have.
we should have fetched Phillips on
He
or
got
something
flattered a
like
few
that.
times. He should have
Yeah.
come off. I think he was
I'm
just
just I'm
absolutely
just saying
wiped out.
what I see. I'm like I say,
I think as well
I'm
within,
not
I
him.
think
I
with
don't know
well,
how tired he was.
with well within that
Because it's
though.
the bit about couldn't be bothered. I don't think he got anything left in his tank to be able to do it. Not about not being bothered.
But
We're
other
all.
than that, I thought he was flawless. I thought he was man at match by far. Is This is what we've been missing these past two seasons is that ability to challenge one on one from a wide area, like Hamill used to do. I've been calling for it for the past 2 years. There's a certain aspect of a game that a winger brings that can cause jeopardy in an opponent's defence. And we've been missing that. We've been trying to pass it into area too much or trying to cross it in and things. And I just think it brings a whole new dimension. It's great to have so many talented wingers. I think Ferrugia, I think he needs a few matches. there's a bit of rustiness there, but you know what? He's got pace and he's got a bit of trickery about him, and I think he'll come good at end. He needs to just shake a bit of rustiness off after a couple of injuries he's had. But yeah, also when Jello comes back, I think we're gonna be fine on wings. Bland and Kelly in the midfield were phenomenal all game. The way they kept the tempo up, because the ball would come to them and the 1-2 touch and it was straight up on wing. It was passing forward relentlessly, not passing backwards. They were constantly niggling at people, tackling people, getting ball back, showing no fear. I thought really you've got to look at the likes of Phillips, Yoganathan, and Connell, who started the two previous games in midfield. They need to be looking over the shoulder because there's two lads on that subs bench that can more than replace them if they don't perform at a certain standard. And I'm really really impressed as well with not just how they play midfield, but they both have played now at right back and played pretty competently. Kelly went at right back when Watson came into centre back yesterday, and I thought he played well. So yeah, it's like I say, the midfield is so strong, and the depth is brilliant. It's just I think centre forward, like I like McGoldrick. I think we need another McGoldrick type player, somebody that can hold the ball up. It's all right putting Keeler Dunn up there because his pressing is great and everything, but it drops really deep. When he does play centrally. So I would like another alternative striker, but centre back is a must. But I know we're looking at Angus MacDonald at the minute, but he's constantly injured, and you know I loved him when he was here before, him with Roberts. I think we need two centre backs now. I really do. I think we need two centre backs, not just one. Like I said, Lopata for me could have done the job, but we've loaned him out. And I think his contract's probably up at the end of the year, so we'll not see him in the Barnsley shirt again. Um, so, but the game yesterday, I thought we dominated for about 60, 65 minutes. But as soon as that tackle went in on Shepherd, I think that's when the game turned, and I think we were lucky to hang on by the end of it. I thought from the 80th minute onwards, they could have scored 2 or 3 goals quite easily. They were pegging us back. We had no structure in defence. Everybody looked like they didn't know what they were doing because, like I said, people were playing out of position. And this is what I hate about the whole, oh, this guy can play in about 10 different positions. Yeah, but he's a master at one. It's fine. It's fine having a right back that can play centre back, but it doesn't mean he's going to be good there. It just means that he's been shoved there once or twice. And I think especially in defence, you can't have that. Up front, you can because you can make mistakes up top and it doesn't cost you goals. But if a right back plays at centre back and is not good there, then that can cost you games. And
Or a centre back that plays right back.
Yeah. Same with but Jisivine has done a job there before, and he can play well there. Same as Earl can play well at left back every now and again. Like end of last season, we were all raving about how well Earl were playing when he would have been inverted, which is what Better does now, by the way. So yeah, there were some positives but some negatives from yesterday's game. But the main takeaway out is get a centre back signed ASAP.
I agree.
It's a good job no one's been saying that since 1st of July or whatever it was, since we first started doing shows again and said, yeah, we ain't got many. Don't know who said that, Andy. Who's been banging on about that all season so far. Don't know, might have mentioned it on Saturday and all. But speaking of Lopata leaving, for me, Andy, it's very much we've got quantity in there, we're lacking quality. You look at sort of Lopata's previous career, it's not like he came with any sort of raving reviews or anything like that. 23-year-old now, struggled to break into a side under 3 different managers, I think we've had, and has been shipped out 3 times now within that. So it's never looking great. And the one game I always think back to with Lopata is when we played against Portsmouth, and in 10 minutes we were 2-0 down, all because of his sort of inexperience, which at the time wasn't really his fault of being inexperienced and being thrown in the way in which he was thrown in at that time, and should have been bedded in a little bit more. But it was sort of needs and must, and it really did highlight sort of his shortcomings as a defender, which I think it seems now. I think Craig's probably right. I can't really see him playing again for us, to be honest.
No, it's best for both. If he's not going to be playing, and it's been pretty clear from Conor Hourihane that even if we had no centre halves, he weren't going to pick him. So for whatever reason, and I don't think he's the quickest. I don't think he's the worst either, and I think he'll do a job somewhere and have a career somewhere. But it's clearly not going to be with us. And as you've just said, it's not just Hourihane. It's been a number of managers. Why that is, I've absolutely no idea. He started one season, a couple of seasons ago, started the season pretty well in the centre of the back, then got injured pretty quickly, and that's basic. As near as makes the difference, that's been it ever since. So you've got to wish him well, haven't you? He's an ex-Barnsley player now, and you've got to wish him well, and I hope he does well in his future. But it's clearly not going to be us with us.
I think it's quite telling with Lopata actually that if you look at his loans at Port Vale and Ross County, was it Ross County?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ross County.
Both teams were relegated those seasons.
I'm glad he's gone then.
Just saying.
It's all down to Casper.
Yeah, but looking at his ratings, which I don't know if you guys take ratings on websites, he played fairly well all season long for him. You can't just blame one guy for a whole team.
No, of course we can. What are you talking about? Of course we can.
But it seemed to constantly be over seven rated on SofaScore, which is what I use to just glance over somebody if I ain't got much time. But like I say, he were an option, and he was somebody we could have used if we needed to, like last night.
I think as well, though, Craig, within that, we say a lot about these players who come in and don't make a difference. I think unfortunately that's what Lopata just fell underneath of. He's all right. If we're a side that's supposed to be gunning for top six, is he getting another top six as defence as a rotation option? Probably not.
It were good. It were a good aerially though. That's and against teams like your Fleetwoods who hit it long, it could have been vital. It really was pretty dominant aerially, even when he were playing for us. Wasn't great with his feet. Wasn't great if he were being closed down. But like I say, I'd rather have somebody that knows how to be a centre back being a centre back than somebody being ushered in there who's not so competent at that position.
Interesting to see what happens with Lopata if he can. I mean, I very much doubt he'll make his way back into a Barnsley shirt, but time will tell. Time will tell. I do think, Andy, as well, it's a little bit of hangover from that fairly poor window we had where he just seemed to bring in just quantity over quality. I mean, there is a time, as Craig mentioned, there's quite a few players that do seem to come back every summer and then get loaned back out, which it's not a great position to be in, but at the same time, I understand it's going to free up wage bills. And if it's players that aren't really going to come and make an impact, then you've got to do something with them. You can't just let them sit and just wait for 7 players to get injured and then, finally you can have a go.
Well, there were a whole load, weren't there, that came very much in one go in that infamous summer window, most of which, if not all of which, have gone. The one I felt sorry for, Atram, to be honest. And you all think differently. I think Andy Dallas, because he came on, he played early on in the season, scored a great goal, and then succession of managers have not picked him. He's been out on loan, and again he's now out on loan. And I wish him well because I think he knew where the net was. But you didn't see him week in, week out, day in, day out like a succession of managers are. But I don't think he got much of a chance. Maybe he didn't deserve much of a chance. I just don't know. But I just feel a bit sorry for him because I thought he got something about him because he could make runs into the channels and what have you. And I thought he looked all right, but the very, very short time he played. But then he didn't get another look in, and again, good luck to him. He was scoring goals for fun at Chesterfield, but lower divisions, I know at the time. But good luck to him, and let's see. Keep an eye on him and all, Craig. We're match stats and what have you. Be interested to know how he gets on, if you don't mind.
It's interesting that the three, Lopata, Lofthouse and Dallas, all came from non-league and they've all gone. without having made any great impression. So, I mean, I'm guessing that might be a seam that we don't look at too much in the future.
Yeah. I was surprised that, mind you, there's lots of reasons why players leave and are sold and what have you. I were a little bit surprised that Kyron Lofthouse left because there were one game in one of the Totty Cups, in one of the Note Cups, where him and Jorgen Nathan played as twin strikers. Totty Cup, I'll explain it to you after, Josh.
No, it's
But
fine. You're just absolutely disrespecting the Papa John's trophy because that's what it was. That's when it was in its
crap,
heyday.
see what crap.
When it's in its
Johnson's
absolute
Johnson's
pinnacle.
paint trophy that we were the proud winners of. That's what it should be.
No, Papa
Look in
John's
the Wimbledon
repeat.
programme in a week's time. That's where it should be. Trust me. Look in their programme. That's the one. That's the best competition in the world. Not half price pizzas on Papa John's rubbish things.
You
They
didn't,
played
you
up
didn't know
front.
free tins of paints with Johnson Paint, did you? You got a free pizza.
Crown. We use Crown. But anyway, so they played. Crikey, they played as twin strikers together in that competition and booked $1 million. I know it weren't the greatest competition in the world, but they look good together. And I thought that Lofthouse didn't look awful a number of games when he played out of position,
Hmm.
out on the left wing back or left wing, as however you want to look at it. So I'd be surprised. But if players want to play, they don't always leave because we don't think they're any good and they're rubbish. They might want to get a game, and I think he wants to play, and he weren't going to be playing that much based on the players that we've still got or signed. So I don't blame him for going. I don't blame us for selling him either. So he did all right for Burton against us. It got stuck in a bit too much sometimes, but good luck to him. But yeah, they all went because would he have got a game this season? I suspect not.
I think you're probably right there. If he maybe just wanted to play week in week out, and I don't think we could have offered him that. I think we could have offered him a rotation player probably at best, unless we are able to solidify his position as a right back. But he was probably the one that out of that group probably showed the most promise, to be honest, to be able to cement himself as part of the squad. I would have said.
Well, nothing says that we want to play with a right back instead of wing backs more than getting rid of three right wing backs
Correct.
in about a week's time. All in a week. It's not. I to say we're not playing with wing backs without saying it, although he did say it. So.
I mean, I will just correct us all on Lopata though. Lopata's contract did expire in 27, so there's still time yet.
Still hope.
There's still time yet. After we've got promoted, after
That's why they've loaned him out. They want to try and bump up his price to sell him in summer.
Not do you mean he's going to come back when we're in Championship after beating Birmingham's points record this season? I think quadruple still on and all. We've still got a chance. Right, moving forward then to the weekend and looking to the visit of Bolton Wanderers. One of your favourite teams, I feel, in this division, Andy, as well, as I've just looked at my phone and there's a link to a StreamYard from our friends at the Fan Zone. So I'm assuming you'll be you've got a busy evening planned.
I have, yeah. I feel a number of weeks ago, I was contacted, as we always are, by the Fan Zone. In my case, a few weeks ago by Chris Dawson, to appear on it. But they normally, you see, the sad bit is that they normally used to invite both me and Smithy on, and of course there's no Smithy. Fortunately, I'm still here, so don't panic. So I'm going across at 8 o'clock to do a live. Well, it'll already have been done by the time this goes out. So I'm all right saying I'll be doing it live at 8 o'clock because people say, well, it's 9 o'clock now. So
Don't you underestimate my editing speed.
I'm considering my own editing speed, my own broadband uploading speed. That's what I'm basing it on, Josh. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm reckoning it's going up this.
Get next Monday then.
Yeah, I have to. I will be doing it, and I'm, in my own way, really looking forward to it because we're good friends with him. And despite a number of things, what I will say is that Colin, especially on there, he got hold of Josh Hale to do the first. Hope things go well for you, Alan. I know it didn't, but hope things go well for you, Alan, and sent that. So good for them. And right at the start, they wanted to know if we or Kate needed any financial support, for Alan's treatment and what have you. and they're in regular. Chris particularly is in regular touch, so they want to pay a bit of a tribute, I believe, to Alan. So that'll be especially nice. So I've no doubt we'll be talking about the old fool in a couple of hours. So we'll see. We'll see. Good luck to him. And of course, even despite me talking about we live in God's own country and they live in the dark satanic Mills country, and I've absolutely no doubt that'll come up again somehow because it always does. I don't know who brings it up, but it always seems to come up.
Must be Cole.
And again, what'll come up, and I never understood this, Dean. We're in the White Rose County, right? And we playing red. They're in the Red Rose County, and they're playing white. There's something gone horribly wrong there in the world when that's happening. So yeah, so it's going to be. I think it might be a bit difficult for Bolton because coming from all that darkness and satanic darkness coming to the light, coming to the light of God's own county, God's
bright
own
lights of
country,
Barnsley.
It's going to dazzle them, isn't it? It's going to dazzle them. So I can't see them doing much because it'll all be all too much for them. But I'm looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. Bless them.
Dean, we've had a little bit of a mixed start, Bolton. I mean, they did lose to Stockport on opening day, but I think Stockport's a side that just about everyone agrees is going to be around the top six. So a difficult opening day fixture. Then beat Plymouth 2-0 and lost on penalties last night to Sheff Wednesday. Gutted about that as well, to be honest. Went down to 10 men as well. So seems a bit of a mixed bag, but a good manager in charge in Stephen Schumacher, and a few ex-Reds in there as well. John McAtee played as well last night. So I think this will be a good game and a good yardstick to sort of see where we are, because I think again we'd assume Bolton chance at top six as well this season.
I mean, they've got some really good players. Despite I think they signed their 12th player yesterday, which is Sissoko. And he's a bit of a flying winger. They seem to play the same system. I'm not wanting to steal Craig's thunder on this, but they seem to play 4-2-3-1 like we do. So it's a matchup. I'm not sure, I watched them against Stockport, and I'm not sure that they looked a bit disjointed to me, and they didn't look terribly good on the offensive. They look better at the back, although they lost 2-0. I'm hoping they're absolutely wrecked after last night, playing 90 minutes and penalties and goodness knows what with 10 men is absolutely perfect. But, we often think that, and it makes no damn difference at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean they've got some very good players coming, and they've spent an awful lot of money. I think is it Harahan from Lincoln? I think he's cost nearly £1 million, and was pretty sought after. But I think where we got
ours, Dean.
Sorry,
used to be one of our players, one of our young players.
Really?
Years ago.
I did not know that.
Well, according to Smithy, I'm expecting it to be true because Smithy said it was true.
Well, it must be.
Who knows? I'll blame him if it's wrong.
Yeah, so I mean they've still got Sheehan there, McAtee. I'm not sure about Dempsey. I think he must be injured. I think Big Vic is also injured. But they signed a lad and paid a lot of money for Simons from Hull recently, another good midfield player. But, there's an awful lot of players to fit in. And, if you look back to Rotherham, who last season took them a long time and probably never did really get a proper settled side as a result of having so many changes to it. I mean, they've changed both the goalkeepers. Baxter and Southwood have both gone now. So, it's early days for them. They'll be powerful. They've got some skill, and Toll at the back. He's an experienced centre back. But one thing I'm looking forward to is the fact that they won't sit in a mid or low block. They'll attack us. And slight worry about Schumacher. He's a smart guy, and if he senses we've got a bit of weakness at centre back, he'll be onto that straight away. And that's the thing. I mean, this often at our level depends upon how well the head coach deals with the other head coach and who's the smarter. And I'm hoping that Connor is smarter.
Leave it with me, Dean. When I go on their show, I'll make sure that they know that we're incredibly strong at centre back. But leave it with me. Leave it with me.
Oh, can I just say, I did going back to Fleetwood just for a second. Do you remember who predicted a 2-2 draw and a win on penalties?
Can't say I did. No.
Okay, move on.
Dean, you can't keep coming on this show and bullying your son up like this. That's twice now, Dean. Both times you bulled your son up.
That's Andy's job.
As Dean's alluded to there, Craig, a very strong midfield for Bolton, but arguably our strongest position as well, which is going to be very interesting to sort of see. I think, as most games is, it's a key battle of who wins that. And like I said, our strongest position, a position in which we can rotate in as well, just as well as what Bolton probably can do. So I think it'll be very interesting to see that midfield battle play out on Saturday.
I think it's going to be key to who wins the game. Who can win in that midfield battle? We're going to need a lot of energy because they come with a lot of energy. I've been watching some replays of the previous games, and the game they lost against Stockport, I thought any other day it could have been them that will run out 2-0 winners. I actually watched that full match live. And then obviously they went to Plymouth and won 2-0. Another game where I thought they were the better team. They played really well. They've done really well at market. If you look at some of the players they've fetched in, I think Mason Burstow, coming from Hull, I think that's a good loan deal. They've just fetched in Ibrahim Sissoko on loan, as well as Teddy Sharman Lowe from Chelsea under-21s. No, he's a decent keeper. I don't know how. I just do. And Cozier Dewsbury as well from Brighton. Now, he come from the Arsenal Academy. And for me, he is one of their biggest threats. Number 19, watch for him on Saturday. He is a little live wire. He is fast, he's tricky. He's basically their version of Cleary. But he likes to cut inside on his left foot and have a good long shot. Written down a few notes about games that I've seen. They like to exploit the wings. So obviously with Ogbeta leaving his position when we've got the ball and him really pushing out the pitch, that could be something we've really got to look at, making sure we've got that secured, because they do hit teams on the counter attack, and that is where Dewsbury plays as well. Dewsbury, I mean. That's where he plays on that right-hand side. So that'll be an interesting battle to see if Ogbeta's got the energy to keep running up and down all game. Also, they like to shoot from distance a lot. And I mean a lot. Bear in mind, they've had 28 shots in the league so far, but only 4 on target this season.
Keep them there then.
Because they keep shooting from distance. No, but these shots are not going, they're not going rose head. They're quite close. I've seen a fair few of them.
They do like that side of that big square. I'm not asked.
No.
Yeah.
When it's outside them posts, no bother.
Can shave top at bars for me, Kate. You can do that. I don't care.
Yeah, so
don't go in.
It's mainly that Erahan and Dewsbury who shoots from distance. But like I said, they only need to get a lucky little deflection and it's in back at net. So it's something we've just got to watch out for. But things that I think that obviously negatives on their side is they can be pressed at the back. They're not the most composed team at passing out the back, and it's what they do. I mean, they've done it for seasons now, but they don't seem to get any better at it. Like we did when we played them a couple of seasons ago, and we got a goal in the first few minutes because we pressed them well. If we can press well, we can stop them getting up pitch, and then that stops it at source. Also, both fullbacks, wing backs, they fly up the pitch to help get a 2v1 on the opposing team's left back. So obviously energy from our wingers to keep getting back, but also there's going to be space there if we're quick enough. It's something I think we need to watch out for. But I'm just hoping for a similar result to what happened last time. They come in and we beat them 4-1. We've beaten last 3 times we've played them. So I think there's some decent omens here to be grabbing hold of. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game. Any game against Bolton's a difficult game. But yeah, so midfield's key, and just watch for their number 19. I think he's if you can keep him down, I think you can really affect their attack.
It's going to be a poor day for him when he's got to keep tracking back with Ray's Cleary. And Peter who's chasing after him and all. Good luck on that. Good luck on Mario, fella. You keep running backwards. Andy, it is one of those. It's a side that we know is going to be difficult, and you sort of look at the name and profile of players have brought in. Ethan Erehon has already mentioned Sam Dalby as well on a free from Wrexham. Ibrahim Sissoko as well. They are a side that. One thing I do think about Bolton is they always seem to do well in loan market, and I think that Amari Duba is a great example of that. Of sort of the a few years ago when they brought in Paris Magoma as well. Like they always seem to have that one player that we just struggle to deal with as well.
Well, it's the same for all clubs, isn't it? I think Bolton are a really good club, and I know it pains me to say it. Over the last number of years, we've had so much to do with them. It got a bit. You know, the one season we about 5 times we played them. It got a bit silly. But you know, they're a good club, and they're going to attract. You know, the name Bolton is going to attract a good quality of player. They've also lost a few decent players, and also, you know, they're working well in the market. And I expect a good game. I honestly expected them, and I still expect them to be up there at the end of the season. I really do, because I think they are a very good club, and they've got a very shrewd manager. But they were woeful at Oakwell last season when we hammered them 4-1. And they were lucky to lose 4-1. I thought we absolutely hammered them. So a bit more of the same, I think, would be nice, because it's at Oakwell. And I've got to do it for Smithy. We're playing at Oakwell, not the Tough Sheet Stadium. I'm going to say it because you can't talk. Although, in fairness, when I talk to Chris Dawson, they don't call it that. And so I'm only just being a bit facetious. They, like me, still call it the Reebok. So, and I think they all.
Well, I would if my alternative were Tough Sheet.
I know. And I'm not going to do a Smithy with the I hope it's Tough Sheet for him on Saturday, because that'd just be too obvious, Craig. But it wouldn't stop him, would it? So yeah, I think it'll be a good game, because they'll bring a lot of fans, because they're a well supported club. I hope we bring a number extra fans back in that have seen what Hurahan's trying to do, and the way, you know, what we're trying to build. Still early doors for us as a club. So it could be, and I expect it to be, if I'm honest, a good atmosphere, a really good atmosphere. The sort of atmosphere that you want to play football in, rather than in front of 3 men and his dog, when even dog's looking other way. So, you know, I hope that it's going to, but I hope that they're going to freeze. And I don't think Craig says, you know, the struggle when they press. We've got players that are pressing currently. And if we do what we can do, and that's all across the front and midfield that can press, we do that, then we could get some just desserts from that. But there is the thing about central defence in general at times. So it could be close. Could be a lot closer than 4-1. I wish it weren't, because I could do it being 4-1 and being able to relax a little bit, rather than the pressure that we seem to put on ourselves all the time. So.
Nah,
Good
you're
pressure
just
isn't
saying
good
that
when it's like that.
Because if it's nice
Heart rate's
weather,
too high for stuff like that. So.
you're just saying that 'cause if it's nice weather and we win, that you ain't got any person doing instant reaction.
It'll be ref's fault. If we win, it'll be ref's fault.
Be an army of people to do an instant reaction with you.
Oh, aye. It's only when we lose, and it's December and January, when it's raining and like fair weather. Like it's me and Tom filming, and me and Tracy still there. All that. I brought Dean into coming. If Dean lets me down, all is lost. If Dean don't come out, it pouring rain. And he's got his cap to keep his hair dry, so I don't see any reason why Dean can't make it. Because it's dire. It's dire when it's me and Tracy, because Tracy does the best, but she has to put up with me ranting about out.
So, we know it's referees.
Well, referees, somebody on a bike or a moped, or so out. I just need help.
You need a better hat as well, because that last one you wore last week, it towed in a bit of.
You needed to actually put a strap on, and it might
To
have
be
not.
fair, I put strap on it, even blow off my head.
Don't start on Indiana.
I just think maybe upgrade
Well,
it.
well,
Make the one better this week.
if it's any help to you, like I tell you, I've been out with young Noah today, and he's kept saying, on Saturday, Grandad, don't wear your Indiana, wear your lucky flat caps. I kept telling him, the Barnsley flat cap I've got. I kept telling him, when I put this on, Noah, we'll score. It's my lucky flat cap. See, you need to get your flat cap out. So, if I can find it, I might well get me Barnsley, my lucky flat cap. Who knows? Just to ring the changes a bit. Or I might even put a baseball hat on backwards. Who knows?
That's
Yeah,
it.
looking like a teenager from 90s.
That's what you
Eddie.
need to do.
Like these. Like these two.
It's going back into fashion. It's not mine.
Yes.
It's
The
not
way
mine.
to
Like
do
having
it.
a mud flap at back, innit?
It's not
What are you
mine.
going to do?
You know what, Craig? These
We're on
two,
sprint.
these two, Craig. He's coming back in fashion. Says
They
these
were never
two.
in fashion, mate, to be quite honest.
Says
It's not.
these
It's not
two.
our fault that we're at front of the at fashion trends. It's not our fault.
Most I
Backstreet
did were
Boys.
bend me front peak. That's what we used to do.
The Grove
Oh.
Street Boys, Craig.
Yeah, but I go back a lot further than you, Craig.
Well, flat caps invented back then, though.
Ah.
Well, you brought it up once already, Dean, that you've got a correct prediction. So we'll come to you first, just so then we can all copy you. What are you going for then this weekend?
Oh man, can't see us keeping a clean sheet, so I can see us scoring for fun. 3-1, 3-1 Reds.
Oh,
That's
I will not be
Bold.
copying that.
I'm following Big Al on
Smithy
that.
special.
Smithy special, yeah.
Craig,
There's always goals in this match.
Tom Webster back.
I'm going with that went right over my head. That, to be honest,
What was that?
I didn't understand that Tom Webster reference. I didn't get it.
The other week when he came on, he went, "Oh, there'll be goals in this match, 2-2."
Ah,
Whatever he said.
oh well. But last week I said that Burton Albion didn't score. It last like 5 times I've visited Oakwell and they're scoring 2. So God knows what Bolton's going to do. I am going to go 3-2 to the Reds. Like I said, I have no confidence in our backline at the minute. I don't think it's strong enough. So, and I don't know who's going to play in it. So we'll see.
He said Burton won't score, and now you've said
You see, reverse psychology.
Yeah.
So the wait score because I've said that. Yeah, see.
Yeah, so I'm thinking something nil, Andy. I don't know about you. What are you going for?
Well, you've got to think of the ups and downs of football, Josh. I mean, just remember on Saturday, Dean were devastated because he'd said 2-2 on Saturday, and we scored a last-minute goal, injury time goal to go 3-2. So we dashed his hopes of getting 3 points in our prediction league. And then last night, I would dash because I'd gone 2-1 and they scored it last to cheer Dean up no end because then he could get it 2-2. So for Dean it was the sadness and then the ecstasy, the agony and the ecstasy all in 2 games. So for me this week it's going to be godly 2, satanic 1.
Oh,
But will it be the rest fault if they score?
Yeah.
you can guarantee that already. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go 4-4.
What?
I'm gonna go 4-4. I just don't think either side. We'll score. We'll score loads because
We've been out at sun.
we've got best attack in the league. We've got best midfield and best attack.
Yeah, but if it's 4-4, that means we're further away from that Birmingham points total.
They dropped loads of points and they were rubbish. Don't worry about it. They were rubbish. They've dropped about 30 points. We've got time to drop points. We can drop about 3 a month, I think, and we'll still beat it. I'll go 4 apiece.
I don't think there'll be many, and if it turns out 4-4, I think you'll be the only person getting 3 points. Oh, you can't have any points. I forgot.
There's just 2 really attacking teams, I think, and I think it's just got goals written all over it because both of them pushed defenders up.
Now I've said that 0-0.
Don't worry, Dean.
I've never been 0-0.
If it's 4-4 on Saturday, I'll not input his score. It's that easy. I'll not do it. I'll forget to put it in.
I might change it between now and then and go 5-4 to us. We'll have to wait and see when lineup comes out.
Yeah.
Get your predictions down in the comments below. We're only 3 games into the season. I think who's top of League 6, Sandy, maybe?
The 6 on
don't
6
know.
points in, there's something like that.
Yeah, I
16
think
on
there's a
6
few.
points,
So
I think.
again, there's the 2 half-season mini comps running out on for the full season comp as well. Even if you're not predicted so far, you're still only 6 points behind. That's 2 correct results. And if you go something outrageous like 4-4 and no one else picks it, there you go. You're back in it already. Like I will be by 5 o'clock on Saturday. And it might be a bit later if it's 4-4 actually, because there'll be a heck of a lot of injury time. If they're all in second half and all. So we'll be back outside Oakwell with our instant reaction to the Bolton game. We'll see you there, you Reds.